Hey, what's up? It's Tiffany. Before we get started on this week's episode, please be sure to send us your requests at booshakalakapodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter X, BOOshakalakapod. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Instagram at BOOshakalakapodcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Booshakalaka podcast. My name is Bobby, and I'm joined with my co-host, Pierre.
Listen, Nick, when she was born, Tom was God knows where. With God knows who. And I asked the nurse if she was a boy or a girl. And she said it was a girl. And I wept. I'm glad it's a girl. And I hope she'll be a fool. It's the best thing a girl in this world could be. A beautiful little fool. All the bright, precious things fade so fast. And they don't come back.
Consider me stumped.
The Great Gatsby, my favorite movie.
Never seen it.
Oh, you're trash.
Which rendition is your favorite?
The Leo one.
Okay. Push your screen back. So
Back. There's a lamp right here.
Okay, there you go. Now you're in frame. Because the top of your head wasn't in frame. Anyway, technical difficulties. Technical difficulties.
All that?
All that. All right, so we are back this week for our April anthologies, and I decided to spring this little 1996 made-for-TV gem onto Pierre. Please be warned, he's probably going to curse me out. And I'm ready for it. I was excited
write
for it.
in, send messages. I refuse to continue to let her subject me to bullshit. This is a bullshit movie, and she knows it. So I'm not going to have it anymore. Send suggestions now. I'm not going to keep reviewing this bullshit. This is bullshit.
I was thoroughly entertained. Thoroughly entertained. So Trilogy of Terror 2, sorry, Jay, we're doing a sequel and you're not on it. But this is more of like a remake, actually. Because it was made in like the 70s or whatever. So this is pretty much a remake. So, Jay, get over it. So this is a made-for-television anthology film. And like I said, a sequel to Trilogy of Terror. And the film follows the same formula as the original, with one female lead playing parts in each of the three segments. So there's three segments on for this movie. And the first segment that we will get into is called Graveyard Rats. And I thought it was really funny when I started watching it, because previously, when we were talking about the taking your kids to fucking Disneyland on your goddamn welfare check, yes, we mentioned rats. So I was like, oh shit, it's come full circle.
Wait, what? Taking kids to Disneyland on welfare check?
That's what he said on the
yeah, okay, yes. Like,
if you don't get the exterminator here.
Oh my god.
So since obviously he hated it, I'll go ahead and get started. So the first segment is called Graveyard Rats. And we see old fart Roger, I forgot his last name, talking about firing Ben, who is his wife's Laura's cousin. And the reason why he wants to fire Ben is because Laura and Ben are fucking each other. Right. And they are cousins.
They're cousins.
I don't know if it's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, or eighth, but they're cousins. And they know that they're cousins. So that makes it disgusting. And Roger has proof. So he's basically telling her that currently she's the sole heir to his fortune, and if she doesn't get her shit together, she's not going to get the fortune. And if she doesn't get her shit together and what do you say, cool her hot pants, cool her panties, he's going to leak the recorded tape of her sleeping with her cousin, and obviously her life and everything will be over. Hot little panties.
Revenge porn.
Pretty much.
Which, see, my opinion changed as the movie went along. Because at first I was like, for him to keep her in the will seems kind of quite kind, considering you have an affair on him. So I was just thinking like she was like Anna Nicole Smith. She married an old guy, cheated and was cheating on him, until he died. Until the movie goes on and you realize he's a fucking asshole.
But
to everybody.
I'm Team Roger.
Really? Even after he was like doing all that yelling and really?
So Laura immediately goes to Ben's house in her lingerie.
And fucks him again.
Yeah, and comes out with her lingerie, and she's basically like, she tells him the story that hey Ben, I can't stop screwing you. So what can we do? What can we do?
And
Because I
he's
really
like,
want to get this money.
oh, I thought you were gonna say something else. Oh my God, you're such a clean
Uh,
woman. And
so
he's like, I know what we can do. We can fucking kill him.
well, he's watching. We have a foreshadowing moment. Foreshadowing moment. He's watching some horror movie, I guess, and this woman in a wheelchair gets pushed down the stairs by somebody, and he's like, the light bulb goes, bing! We can kill this old fucker.
He must be watching
And
Gremlins.
Laura's like, no, let's think of a different plan. This isn't it. And Ben's like, no, we could really kill him. What do you think? Hot panties, what do you think?
He must have been watching Gremlins. And so
but I thought in Gremlins it actually moved really fast up. It was
the chair. It was the chair.
The chairlift.
And so so they devise
but wait,
a plan.
he says, but before he says that,
oh, God.
he finally convinces her, and he says, just think what we could do with all that money. And then he strokes her face and says, cousin. It's so disgusting.
Like, they devised the worst plan I've ever seen in my life. They're trying to pretend it's a home invasion or a burglary. But they don't really go for, like, it's like they had the plan, then it just went off. Because I'm like, why did he reveal that he was? It was just very odd.
Because he was evil, and he wanted to show Roger that he had the upper hand.
So Roger at the house bitching. He up there bitching, cussing all the like help out, everything. Like, he's just mad as hell. He cussing people out on the phone at the company and everything. He's being an asshole, which is why the sympathy meter goes down. And so Laura brings him his, I don't know,
pea soup.
Like, I don't know, his.
One time I went to Barney's and your mom's so dumb. She went to Barney's and asked for a Nikoi salad when it's actually a Niçoise salad.
I hate you so
She probably bought him a Nikoi salad when she should have brought him a Niçoise salad.
It's that nasty soup.
He takes a bite of his bread and he's like, it's hard and cold. How long does toast stay hard? I mean, I'm sorry. How long does toast stay cold? Riddle me that. And I have a funny story. So when I was in college, we were in the cafeteria, and the cafeteria, this is when I was going to junior college. The cafeteria had basically nothing on the line because if the football players got in there, they ate all the food. Like, they just, like hound dogs. And I had a friend that went in there. I think this was breakfast. It actually was breakfast. So she got her plate or whatever, and she pulled up the biscuit. She bit into the biscuit and threw it. And she's like, these biscuits are hard and fucking cold. And we were just like, I literally grabbed my lunch tray or my tray and walked the fuck out of there. What are you doing throwing food? We're grown-ups. We're 19 and you're throwing food hard and fucking cold. And they knew it was her. I was gone.
Not we're grown-ups.
We were grown. I was driving.
Y'all have to understand, Tiffany has amazing food and drink stories.
That's why I was fat.
And,
so as she brings in the food, they hear a noise downstairs, and Roger, being big and bad. Oh, we forgot to mention Roger is in a wheelchair, but him being big and bad, he's like, "What the fuck was that? Who in my house? Not in my house. Not on my watch." And he goes over to the door, and he's kind of just like standing there, and he's looking. And the wife says, or Laura's like, "Oh, I'll go ahead and call the police." So she's on the phone. She's like, "Hello, 911. Yes, we have a burglar in our house. Yes, I think he's downstairs. We live at 452 Pussy Way. And
wow.
Please come help. Thank you so much."
Did I just say fuck you?
Did you hear that? She said fuck you to me. Fuck you too, you whore. So Roger is like, "I'm about to go and check it out." And Laura's like, "Wait, let's call the police." And he's like, "Again, not in my house. And Laura grabs a gun, and he's like, "Where the hell did you get that gun from?" But for some reason, it was just like on his counter. It was on his desk, so she didn't really like go searching for it. That was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So,
but this movie is...
So he goes into the hallway, and immediately Ben comes up dressed in all black. Immediately comes up and starts pushing Roger's...
Every man, all dressed in black. black wig, silver, buttons, all down her back.
Immediately pushes Roger down the stairs. And I mean, he pushed him with sheer force. Like if they do a coroner's report, they're gonna know he didn't trip down the stairs. There was just too much force, in that push.
Because he don't even push the wheelchair down the stairs with him. He like pushes him out of the wheelchair when he pushes them. I really hope that's the sun kiss.
He dumps him.
And so yeah, it was very much so what they want to do to Charles Xavier in one movie. And so and so he's dead. He's dead as a doornail. And it's crazy because, well, I mean, I understand you can die from falling down the stairs, but it didn't look that high up. I thought he would at least got some like bruising, maybe concussion.
Well, I think the reason why it's kind of hard to kill you is because you are actually moving your legs, moving your arms to kind of try to break your fall. But because he was wheelchair bound, he was pretty much unable to do that. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to assume that's why. And let's just say he broke his neck like Madeline Ashton, He broke his neck at the bottom of the stairs, but he ain't coming back, baby. He don't got no kind of elixir. And so we slip to the next scene, and because she's a white woman, it's an open and shut case. They question her at home. She doesn't have to go down to the station, and she's free to go. They believe everything she says. You know what? He was old. He slipped down the stairs because somebody broke into the house. Whatever.
And he tries to do everything himself. Like, it was very like, all right, okay, sounds plausible.
Sure, we don't need to investigate this. He's old anyway. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your night, ma'am. So then we see Ben and Laura headed to the mountains, and apparently this is where Roger's family is all buried.
I feel like we're moving too fast. I feel like we're skipping a scene. Did they meet with the lawyer yet?
No, not yet. That's after. So Ben and Laura are headed to the mountains, and Ben literally keeps harping on the fact that he's sleeping with his cousin. Like, he keeps saying like all these inappropriate things. Hey, cousin, your coochie smells good, cousin. Just so much stuff that he's just he didn't say that, but I mean, it's just really uncomfortable and really inappropriate the way that he's talking around her, and he keeps calling her cousin. But it is kind of like a way to keep police off their track. She's going with her cousin to her husband's funeral, which sounds right. And he's actually the VP of the company. Oh, I forgot to mention, Roger was getting ready to fire Ben. Mm-hmm. So, of course, that's when they came up with this story. So, now Ben probably is now the president or whatever. So they go into the bar of the hotel, and we see these three gravediggers. Well, they're not gravediggers, three caretakers, talking about basically people that they have buried. Mm-hmm. And one guy pulls up the middle guy's hand. He's like, hey, I don't remember seeing this ring on your finger. And he's like, oh, what about this bracelet? What about this watch? So come to find out, this motherfucker is robbing the dead. So when he goes to bury them, he basically buries them after the funeral, and then he digs their grave and takes their property and then close everything back up. Mm-hmm. He's crazy.
I mean, they do it to Egyptians. And so... And so they have his funeral, and they meet with the lawyer. Well, she has a meeting with the lawyer. I'm sorry. And so
hold on. You still going too far. I know. I'm gonna shut up when it comes to that time. I'm gonna give you 1, 2, 3 and go. So the caretaker's name is Stubbs, and he introduces himself to the couple. He knows who Laura is, and he's the one taking care of Roger's body. And he has been ordered to bury Roger in the south end of the graveyard. And he's like, that ground is ate up. I don't know what's biting me, but I know I'm ate up. So he's like, you shouldn't get buried there because it's thousands of big ass rats down there. And he's like, I suggest you get a steel coffin, because apparently they got Roger the cheapest fucking wooden box to put him in. It was probably an Amazon box. Well, Amazon wasn't out then. So it was probably like a Costco box. And they're like, Ben's like, you trying to stick me for my paper? No, we're not doing that. He's going to have his old ass buried there. I don't believe anything you're saying. They really think that it is just a ploy to get more money for them.
Which, honestly, if he's already the VP, like, how, I mean, I understand, like, funerals can get expensive, but come on now. If you're the VP of a big company, you're making money. You can afford, like, I don't know. It was just I feel like that was cheap.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he had life insurance that would have paid for it. Paid for the entire funeral.
Yeah. I just feel like it was just cheap all around. Like, you're already going to get his inherited. Like, it just felt very odd. That was weird.
So they all go to the funeral, and then the next morning, 1, 2, 3, go.
The next morning, they meet with the lawyer. The lawyer comes and they're always together. And so he's like, okay, we need to meet, blah, blah, blah. Of course, there's no reason for Ben to come. Like, it's just very weird. And so
he comes all the time in their bedroom anyway.
This how you want to live your life? And so is this where you want to be when Jesus comes back? And so she meets with the lawyer, and he runs. It's insane how she meets with the lawyer, and it's like he runs up to her like, what did he say? What did he say? And so basically she explains, bitch, ain't no company. The company is a shell company. There's no money. She's like, he moved his money. He transferred into an account. There's nothing basically. And so they're like, what the fuck? And so after the funeral, after he's been buried, then they start, I forget how they get on it, but they start brainstorming.
So he says that he transferred all the money into an account in Zurich and microfilmed the access codes so that nobody could have them. That's what the lawyer tells Laura. So they set out to find the codes. Ben and Laura set out to find the codes. And while they're at the house, Ben jokes and says, it's probably buried on him. And Laura's like, oh my God.
He requested in his will to be buried with this watch.
That has a secret compartment.
Yes.
So of course it's enough room for the microfilm to fit in. First off, I didn't know what microfilm was. Riddle me that.
It's been in movies before. It's been a plot device in movies before.
Okay.
That's all I know.
So the two show up, they're like, muah, muah. So the two show up at the gravesite at the dead of night. And I'm like, they couldn't go at around 6 p.m. when there's just a smidge of daylight still out? I don't know. But baby, when they get there, the caretaker already digging.
Literally, the work has been done for them. The caretaker in there getting ready to take all this shit from, and so.
But you know what's so funny? He was only buried with that watch. Was it worth it to dig up that entire grave for just that watch?
Maybe he wanted the suit. Maybe he don't care. Maybe it's just a thing for him. He gets him off. Like the guy from Death Proof.
That's true.
And so so Ben walk up, hi, howdy ho, and then slams him with the shovel. So grave robber's dead as a doornail, and Laura walk up, she what the fuck? He well, he was robbing graves. I love how we tried to justify the murder. Y'all just killing people. He's a murderer. Right. At some point you have to kind of realize maybe he's not the one for me. And so Ben jumped down there. This is the stupidest fucking y'all. I fucking can't stand Tiffany. So Ben jumps down there. Of course, the watch is there. We see the watch. He's like, there's the watch. Here go this dumb fucking bastard. She gonna pull out a gun. He look up.
So he grabs the watch and she's like, open the back. When he could have been climbing out of the grave.
Tiffany, I'm so mad at her.
Open the watch. He opens it and they're like, yeah, baby, the microfiche is here. He turns to her and
she takes out the gun and says, what did she say? Enjoy your trip.
Blam.
Pop. And y'all, when she shoots him twice, when I say she shoots him, I mean she shoots him. Because not a gun smoke, not a flash comes from the gun. They literally just have a fake gun prop and they have gun sounds that they make when they want her to shoot. But they don't even go through the anguish to make a pop, to have it look like they do. No, because they do this shit. I've seen stage plays at churches where they've had a fake gun and they know how to make the sound and with in the gunpowder effect. So the fact that they didn't do this for a movie, y'all can go to hell. Y'all can burn.
Right, but here's the thing. She shot him in the grave. So now she has to get in the grave to get the watch. She should have let him come out of the grave.
Give her the watch and then shoot him, and then he would have fell into the grave, and then your work is done here. Well,
so
I don't know.
Too late. So Ben is down for the count. He gone. He dead. So she looks. She's like, ha ha ha! I'm gonna get the watch. All of a sudden, Roger's body just starts being pulled from the head.
Literally, it looks like Wizard of Oz. It looks like Wizard of Oz when she went to get them damn shoes.
The matchbox pulling.
It's like when she went to get them damn shoes. It's like they're gone.
Yeah. And Laura's like, what? So and she jumps into the grave trying to grab it. She can't get a hold of it because, baby, it's them big ass fucking rats.
She get them.
And they,
She get them buckle on me shoes though. How's the rats look, Tiffany?
I don't know. They actually weren't even. They were like, ah, ah. Remember that from John Tucker Must Die?
No, I was you. That
the
was
beavers.
Easy,
He was.
that was
he was
easy
the.
A.
Oh, you're
Easy
right.
A. Woodchuck.
You're right.
Woodchuck.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I hate that our minds went.
That was Easy A. My bad. I thought it was John Tucker Must Die. Very, pretty much.
No, because the reason you think that is because it's the same guy in both movies. Like the guy from You. It was the same, same actor. So that's why you thought that. He was John Tucker's brother. He was the other Tucker.
Okay, yes. Yeah. Okay, that's why.
So yeah.
I mean, I remember the first time I saw that part, I laughed so hard. I was like, this movie looks stupid. And then that part, I was like, I'm in, baby. Thank you. So Roger's body's being dragged. She can't get it. And then she actually goes down into the rat's nest. At this point, I would have been like, you know what? Let me just go and sell this big ass house that I'm in. That'll sustain me for the rest of my life. Because when I say the rats are big, they're bigger than like opossums. They're like huge.
Dog size. I would say they're about bigger than Nola. They're and you have
wait, you said did you hear that?
Yes, that's what I was like. Now she like, keep my name out your mouth. That's when you know you have a black dog.
Bigger than Nola. Woo! Sounded like Brian. They're like the size of bulldogs. And there's like 5 or 6 of them. And she's still trying to grab the body. She can't. All of a sudden, one starts chomping on her leg.
Oh my God.
Right at that point, bitch, you know you got rabies. You know she got rabies.
Oh yeah. That's
what I'm saying. She should have just
they
sold
don't even
the
look
house.
healthy. They don't look like healthy.
No, like their teeth are like my 2 fingers. That's how long their teeth are. Like it's ridiculous down there. They ate some Chemical X or some ooze from Ninja Turtles. Oh my God. Something they did. Oh, you know what they were looking a little like Rocksteady. Even though he was a warthog.
I'm not doing this with you.
Wait, or was Bebop the warthog?
I didn't watch Ninja Turtles. I don't know anything about Ninja Turtle lore, but they ate pizza. That's all I know.
Oh my God, I was a huge turtle fan.
Something's wrong with you. Like you be a good nerd and then you turn into the worst one. And so mind you, she's letting them bite the fuck out of her. Like what she don't take out the gun until the last minute and she fire off some shots, but she don't even hit it. Like it's like, how are you missing them in this little bitty ass tunnel?
Does she ever get the watch back, or she kind of just says fuck it?
Yes, she actually does get the watch back. Once but she has to go down deeper into the cavern. Like she keeps following them, which pisses me off. Like the watch was right there. Like but anyway, she shoots them. She grabs the watch. She puts it in her shirt. So I'm like, okay. And then she tries to back.
Question. So the watch. Oh, okay. Never mind. So when Ben picked up the watch, he didn't detach it from the body.
No.
Because it was
okay.
Okay.
This is when she pisses me off. Like you said, she should have let him come up. Like it happens all the time in movies. Let them give you the item before you kill them. Like, and so the fact that, but she keeps going deeper in the cavern and she's trying to back up, but the rats are behind her and in front of her. So then she like shoots them.
We got the place surrounded.
So then she shoots them and then she's moving. And then she sees a coffin opening. So she's like, oh, well, this is the coffin. This is when I didn't feel bad for her. But when I tell you I would have died in this moment, like I would have prayed that God sent me a stroke, because she gets to the coffin and she's like, she thinks like, but again, she knows the coffin door wasn't closed, but she gets to a coffin and she tries to push up and she realizes she's in the wrong grave. Like they done stole the body from this grave and this is actually buried. He ain't dig this one up. So she's stuck there and here they come in the hole and they just start biting. She's like, oh God. She run out of bullets.
For the love of God. Oh,
like that is the worst way to die. Like, and they just
be eaten alive. I just can't imagine, because this is slow, painful death. And
even though they're big, it's gonna take a while.
This is the consequence of fucking your cousin and killing your husband,
and then killing your cousin that you were like. What was the point? Like,
girl. Like
it's just like she like. I didn't understand the point of keeping him alive this far. Like, it just was. That was terrible.
that was a terrible way to die. In retrospect, had the movie been done with a good budget, it could have been very good and scary.
Mm-hmm.
I hate you so much. Move
You
to the
wanna
next one.
rate
Move to
this?
the other.
You want to rate it? Okay, we'll keep it moving.
Okay, I'll give it a 3. No, I'll give it a 2. There were no black people.
Out of 10?
A 2. There were no black people.
No,
at
I
all,
give it
and
5. I think it was decent for a little quick 20-minute short. I give it a 5. It's half.
Again, how are these movies over an hour? And so moving on to the next one.
Called Bobby. They call the king of R&B. Bobby!
Bobby, you speak English. And so we're down in Arlington, Texas. And so this mother is...
Well, first off, we see Alma, who is the mother, dressed in all black. I guess she just came back from the fight with Copperhead, at the baseball diamond. And she's looking out the window.
Go ahead and say it. You want to say it? Say it. Say it.
Bitch, I should have been motherfucking Black Mamba.
Y'all, let me tell you about another food story with Tiffany. We're out to eat. I think Tiffany may have had a steak or a pork chop or something. And I don't she grabs her silverware and she loses control of her knife. But baby, she catches it before it even hits the...
Where were we at? Oh, Charlie's.
Hell no. It was at a nice place, actually. And you
what nice place did we go to when you were a kid?
I don't know. It had a fire pit outside, but it was... And you...
was this when we were kids, or when you were a kid, or when I came to visit you a couple years ago?
When you came to visit me, a couple years ago.
Oh, okay. I don't know. That place was nice. It was like,
and
ranch,
the knife slipped out of your... Yeah, and the knife slipped out of her hand, and she caught it. And the first thing out of her mouth wasn't "ooh," or "oops." It was, "I should have been motherfucking Black Mamba." And it was,
don't play with my food.
It was so cool though, because it was a very sharp knife, and I'm glad it didn't fall too far or on her skin. But baby, it was just for no reason.
I should have been motherfucking Black Mamba. Vivica had a point. Why the fuck was the white girl called Black Mamba?
Because it was the deadliest snake. And so
they could have called... Well, somebody was already Viper.
No, they were just called the Vipers, but
they could have just called her Anaconda.
That's not a poisonous snake. It's not a viper.
Well, anyway, so so she's staring out the window and looking at some rocks, and the waves crashing onto the rocks. We see that the weather is not too good where she's living. You said Arlington, Texas. Bitch, this is a beach. This is a beachfront house.
Because her son's name is Bobby, and so
she must have been in Galveston. She was in Galveston, and so she's crying, and then immediately she turns into a charmed one, and we see her with this big ass book and starts drawing on the ground to have a fucking seance to find her dead son.
No,
Bobby.
She was Tiffany Valentine, and so she get up there. Ade due dambula, give me the power I beg of you. She's summoning every dark force known to man so she can bring her son back to life. And I'm like, bitch, I know you've seen Pet Sematary. What are you doing? This doesn't even sound right. What the...
And she's doing it by herself at night. It's dark.
The Book of the Dead. She got the Book of the Dead. And it's like, girl, you want to bring Imhotep back to life. That's literally your only goal here. And Imhotep. So... yeah, played by a white man. And so,
well, yeah, but he was still fine. So before she goes to bed, she hears a noise. She hears a noise downstairs, and the thunder is rolling. The lightning is lightning, and she goes over to the front door. She opens up, and bitch, Bobby is there. Bobby is there, and he is doing the Harlem Shake because it's so cold, and he's soaking wet. And she's like, "Oh my God, Bobby! Bobby, where have you been? Where have you been?" She pulls it into the house. It sits him on the stairs.
He was dead, bitch.
She sits him on the stairs, and he's like, I didn't remember who I was till now, and then I just walked home. And she's like, "Okay, what else happened?" And he's like, "Mommy, I'm cold." And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Bobby." So she takes him up to the room, takes his shirt off, and gives him a towel. You don't take them cold ass pants off of him though. Mm-hmm. And she starts to question him, and he basically is deflecting. And he tells her that he's hungry. Oh, well, no, he said that she's asking him questions over and over again, and he said he remembered who he was when he was walking home, and he remembers cold water, and he couldn't breathe. And some people basically picked him up on the beach and rescued him. So
but he ran away from them.
Yeah, but he ran away. Okay, so he forgot. He remembered who he was, but then sensed he was in danger, even though he was not. It wasn't a like, hey, people that saved me, I know who I am now. We could go to my mom's house. Drive me there. He just bust out in the middle of the night while it was raining. Like, fuck it. I gotta go. I gotta go back to home and get a tuna sandwich. So he tells his mom that he's hungry, and she starts preparing a tuna sandwich. And apparently
a dry. I didn't know that was tuna. I thought that was like ground beef or like mutton or...
She toasts the bread and then puts the dry ass tuna. Okay, so as somebody who hates mayonnaise, I will only eat it like in deviled eggs, potato salad, and tuna. And I like pretty much dry tuna because I'm not a fan of mayonnaise. So
I understand.
It was good to me.
I hate you. I understand because I hate mayonnaise too. And I'm like, with the deviled eggs, with like, but I don't know. It's just something about when you actually make the tuna and if you season it correctly, you can't taste it. So I distance myself from that.
That's the only time I like it. You're not finna see me put mayonnaise on a sandwich and eat it. There's not.
Extra mayo, please.
Scrumptious. FYI, guys, that's from Undercover Brother.
It's the way she slammed it on the sandwich and
then she stirred it up.
Extra mayo for me, please. I hate him.
You got to use your hot sauce watch to get rid of 2 liberal spritches of this watch to make white people food edible.
God, I hate him. I will never forgive Eddie Griffin for what he's done to comedy. Because
that movie was hilarious. Because it hasn't been good since then. I have not laughed like that hard. Maybe since like...
No. And you know what?
Hangover?
I bet a movie...
Like the original Hangover. I did crack up at that. But Undercover Brother, I remember seeing it in the movie theaters. And I was crying laughing. But a lot of his movies
are underrated. Like even Double Take is a great movie. And it's super funny. I think I'm going to
have to go visit it again.
Yes, like he's hilarious in that movie, and I'm like, he does not get like the flowers he deserves because he was fucking funny. But
so Bobby, it starts to question his mom. He says, "Mommy, was I always a good boy? Did you love me? Were you always nice to me? Were you nice to me, Mommy? Why was I in the water? Why did those people find me? You told me not to play by the rocks, right, Mommy?" And she's just like, the fuck is going on with him? And she finally gives him the tuna sandwich, and he's like, I don't want it anymore. She's like, but Bobby, it's your favorite. I don't want it anymore, Mommy. You know what I want to do? I want to play hide and seek. And then he skedaddles out of the room, and she's like, the fuck? Did he just get back in from the rain?
I don't have time.
So she's looking for him, and she's basically getting pissed because he's playing and he's walking around, Mommy, running and stuff, and he ends up throwing like I guess a piece of marble at her, and it crashes into a mirror, and it almost hits her, and she's like, wait a minute, that's when she kind of like, becomes really alert. She's like, okay, Bobby, what the fuck? So she's yelling. She's like, Bobby, get down here, and he's like, oh. Is that how you used to talk to me, Mommy? Maybe that's why I left, Mommy.
Gaslighting as a motherfucker. He's a gaslighting motherfucker.
She's walking by the stairs, and he pushes a plant, which for some... there shouldn't have been a plant there. No. But he pushes a plant, and it almost falls on her, and she's like, Bobby, stop it! You could have killed me! You could have killed me!
And then why did she crawl over when the phone... I didn't understand why she was crawling. I was like, is her leg injured?
Well, he cuts the power out first. So she said, and then he's like, aren't you glad the lights are out, Mommy? We can play better when the lights are out.
How did the phone ring if the lights were out?
So because it was a landline.
Oh.
What the hell's wrong with you? So the phone rings, and she goes to the phone, and it's her, and she's like, somebody please help me! Help somebody! And it's her husband. He's like, hey, what's her name? Alma, it's me, John, calm down. And she's like, oh my God, John, oh my God, it's Bobby, he's back. And John's like, no, Bobby's dead. She's like, oh my God, John, won't you fucking listen to me? Bobby is back and he's playing these games and I don't know what's going on. And John's like, you don't know what's going on? And she's like, no, Bobby's playing games. Bobby's playing games? So every last couple of words she says, he repeats her like she's 2 years old. Like he's 2 years old. And she's like, why are you repeating everything I say? And he says, repeating everything you say? Bob, mommy, I got you. It's me, Bobby.
Bobby can burn in hell. This was such bullshit. Like, this is bullshit.
And she then realizes that the fucking phone cord was cut. So I don't know how it was ringing at that time anyway. Oh my God. Mommy, it's me, Bobby.
So she's stumbling around the house with the lights off, and then she hears some shattering, clattering, clangering. This bitch grabs a knife. And this is when, well, actually, she should have been, I don't have time for this shit. I don't play with the evil children. You're going to die. I'm not the one to test. This is not about to be like Pinocchio's Revenge. We should do that movie.
Pinocchio's Revenge. No, we should not. But wait, before she grabs the knife, Bobby's like, Mommy, I'm no longer having fun. I think we should switch places. Now you go hide and I'll seek you. And I'm not over exaggerating. Bobby's
She's not.
Like, I'm not.
She's
playing.
not. And I want to know. I know that actor. I need to figure out who the fuck it is because I need to bully him on Twitter.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah, I've seen him before. I'm gonna bully him on Twitter because what the fuck is this bullshit?
Stop
she's not
it.
exaggerating. This is how he was talking the entire fucking movie. Like, boy, and he's not like that age to where he would ever be talking like that. This boy is like 13, 14.
Yeah.
Like, don't play with me.
He's Casper's age.
Oh my God, that was so mean.
So she grabs a knife and she goes to hide into the pantry. No. Bobby grabs a knife while Alma goes and hides in the pantry. So while she's in the pantry, she sees a wrench. Okay. So Bobby's like, the kitchen would be a good place for Mommy to hide. Mommy, are you in the kitchen? Oh, the pantry. Mommy, are you in the pantry? I think you're in the pantry, Mommy. So he goes and he starts jiggling the knob and Alma's like, all right, bitch, I'm ready. So she's got the she winding up with the wrench, and then Bobby's like, oh, I think I heard something upstairs. You tricked me, Mommy. Ready or not, here I come. And she hears feet. Oldest trick in the fucking book.
Literally, like, baby, I'm not leaving. I think I've said this in movies before. I'm just gonna sit there. I'm gonna sit there all night, and then when people come, oh, that's where I was. I'm not moving. You will not catch the gingerbread man around here. Not my gumdrop buttons.
Not my gumdrop buttons. But if anything, I wouldn't go until like at least it was sunlight, so I could see what I'm doing. That probably would help too, because I mean she could have easily, what would have been real smart? She was in the pantry. She should have got like a bunch of flour, open the door, and do the shit.
Oh yeah, that would have
been really good, or bug spray,
or some cornstarch. And so she opened it up and boom, there he is. But she pop his ass. She does wham his ass one good time and then go running. I'm like, my son would have died again.
She grabs her keys and runs to the garage, and she's pushing the garage door opener, and for some odd reason on a night like tonight, the power was out, so it wouldn't open.
I would have ran the car through it.
The car didn't start, bitch. The car ain't start.
Yeah.
I think she was. So when she realized it wasn't coming up, she was still trying to start the car. And for some reason, this rich ass family, this rich ass car, this 1996 Beamer or Mercedes Benz wouldn't start. And that is really weird because in 1987, when Mrs. Lansing was driving home, her Mercedes got through anything, baby.
20 miles in 15 minutes. Oh, that is impossible.
It's gonna be what, $3,000-$4,000? And then it'll look brand new. So Bobby comes out to the garage. He's like, that wasn't nice of you to hit me like that, Mommy. And she's hiding in the car, and he's like, hiding in the car is not a good enough hiding spot, Mommy. So then he bursts through one of the windows in the car, and she runs out. She gets out of there, and she runs back into the house.
Why didn't she lock the garage door?
Right. So she runs up the stairs into her bedroom. Well, she hides in her bedroom. And at this point, does she get her gun?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she gets her gun, and Bobby runs in, and he's ready to get her, and she shoots that motherfucker out that window that she was looking through earlier in the movie. So he flew out like the good son. Bitch, he is dead. We not gonna see him.
Oh,
Mr. Highway.
Mom, I love you. It's
We're just playing Mr. Highway.
woo.
So Bobby's gone, and she's like, whew. Well, at least, nobody really knows what happened. And Bobby was already dead before. So, look, I guess we good. Let me go down here and eat this tuna sandwich that I made.
Wow.
So she goes walking down the stairs, and bitch Bobby is back in the foyer.
She lets him walk through the door. She lets him walk up the stairs to her. And then, bam, he behind her. He pushes down the stairs. I'm like, bam.
Yeah, that was weird. And
I would have shot his ass in the head. Like, bitch, somebody.
Huh. So he pushed her down the stairs. So she's now down, and she's looking up at him on the staircase. And he's like, you lied, mommy.
Exposition.
Bobby didn't drown by accident. Bobby drowned himself to get away from you, mommy. Bobby didn't want to come back, so he sent me instead.
And baby, it's the fucking gremlin from fucking Goosebumps. I love how our shit comes full circle. It literally looks like the gremlin from Goosebumps when she had the mask on. And I'm just like, sir. So.
And it just ends. We don't know if, she was able to fight him again.
Yeah. So, his mom was so terrible, he drowned himself, and then she tried to bring him back, and he sent a demon to go kill her. Like,
why didn't he just go ask to live? I don't know.
I don't
know.
Get the book she had and summon a demon to get her while he was still alive? Sir, you're dead. Like,
I don't know. For this one, okay, I actually give this one a 6 out of 10. Only reason, it did have some very tense moments. Like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this one. I wish the ending was different. I wish we would have saw him kill her. Mm-hmm. But other than that, yeah, I give it a 6 out of 10.
I'll give it a 4.
All right, so now we are on to the creme de la creme, the last segment, entitled "He Who Kills."
Oh, I want to hit you. I want to hit you. I want to hit you. I want to hit you.
Do you want to start?
I don't want to start a damn thing. We start off with the police going to investigate a motherfucking murder. A murder. 2 women are dead. I'm so angry right now. This was some bullshit. And this was the best one.
So Amelia, okay, so as a note back to the original Trilogy of Terror, this little short was called Amelia with the same Zuni doll. So this was like a continuation of that. And they say that Amelia was the person that they found in the apartment dead. Amelia and her mother were found by her boyfriend, dead to the carpet, slashed the fuck up. So the police send the boyfriend away, and the coroner says they were both slashed at the throat with many small lacerations across the body. And while they're looking for evidence, another detective calls in, I guess the chief of police, I don't know, and he finds a doll charred in the oven. And they also find a cloth with instructions on it, basically telling you how to bring the Zuni doll back to life. It's called a Zuni fetish doll back to life. They read how the chain should be wrapped around the doll to keep the warrior inside. Should the chain be removed, doll and spirit become one living entity. So they don't care. Whatever. So they bring the doll with all of its belongings to Dr. Simpson's office. She is like a curator at the National Museum of Art and History. I don't know.
Why? The fact that why are you?
It should have been into evidence. What does this doll have to do with anything? Are you going to dust that motherfucker for fingerprints? Nobody's going to automatically assume that the doll did it. Like, it doesn't make sense. We know this
from Chucky. Y'all don't believe
shit.
But my thing is, and here's my thing. Even if I don't believe, even if you just, I don't believe in that shit, blah, blah, no supernatural stuff. That's fine. I'm still not going to unravel the fucking chain. I don't believe in it. I don't need to find out that I'm wrong. So even if you don't believe, just leave it as is. Don't fucking touch it. Like, it's just.
So actually, I skipped a little bit. So when they read the instructions, it was actually the doctor reading the instructions with her boyfriend in her office. So she's in possession of.
Yeah. Well, is he?
No, it's her boyfriend at this point. It's her boyfriend, and she's in possession of the doll at this time. So she reads it. This bitch literally picks up the necklace, is like, "Ha, we don't need this," and just flicks the necklace off to the fucking ground. They immediately don't believe any of it. The boyfriend's like, "All right, well, finish up here, and I'll come pick you up at 11." He heads out, and so she's still scratching away at the doll, and she realizes as she's scratching away the charred wood, the doll is like
brand
basically
new.
Yeah, it's like regenerating. It's regenerating. Like it had like such protective coating on it that even though it got burned, it didn't actually affect the doll.
Mm-hmm.
And so security. I'm just still trying to realize why she didn't put the chain on him at that time when she read it. It's a part of the exhibit at that point. I mean, we've all seen Leprechaun. Leprechaun was out by then. So anyway, so she's working on the doll, and one of the security guards comes in and says, "Hey, we're going to order some pizza if you want to come get some." And she's like, "Sure." So she leaves with the security guard. She leaves the Zuni doll on the desk, locks the door, and heads down to, I guess, the security station in the front of the, in the lobby.
That motherfucker.
So they finish eating. The pizza was the bomb. Everybody said it was good. And they got to take the stairs because, they ate so much. So after the pizza break, she goes back into her office. One of the officers walks with her, and she's like, "Wait a minute. I closed this door when I left." And he was like, "Yeah, you sure did. And you locked it too." So they go into the office, which is a lab. So they go into the lab, and the doll is gone. Also, the little knife that she was scraping him with is gone as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, they want to be logical thinkers. And, somebody must have just robbed us for only this doll.
Mm-hmm. No equipment, no potions, no drugs. Yeah.
So I guess maybe she thinks that the person that committed the crime, maybe their DNA is on the doll somewhere. They'll find him, blah, 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 blah. Who knows? So the other officer's like, "Okay, looks like we have a thief in the building, a burglar. I'll go check it out." So he's walking, and we see some exhibits, and he hears a sound, and then we cut and we see the doll in action. And it is like, I gotta do the mouth is like this. It's always open, and we see it like moving from side to side, and the guy is walking, and he's like, "Hey, who's there? And he like steps to the right just a little too far, and we see the doll go, "Hi, yeah!" And he bites on what's actually a bow and arrow, and it springs the arrow in action and shoots right into the guard. The guard is dead.
This is bull shit.
So Dr. Simpson's like, "Damn, he is not back yet. The cop is not back yet." So she goes to look for him, and she finds the other officer that was still at the security station dead to the ground.
Throat slash,
slash, and all the wires to the building have been cut. I guess like for the power was on the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but there were some wires or stuff cut. Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
People out. That's all I can think. But I don't know how they were.
But then in the end, how does the boyfriend get in? So
I don't think there's no writers were involved in the
okay. So she runs to the exit doors; they're locked, and she goes back. She heads back to her office, trying to get her keys to open up the front door. So while she's in the elevator, we see that one of the top panels from the elevator slide to the side, and it's the fucking doll, like looking down on her. And he's like, 1, 2, 3, Geronimo! And he jumps on her. And he's like,
I want y'all to understand she's not exaggerating. I'm gonna let her have her fucking moment. This doll sounds like fucking Donnie fucking Thornberry the entire time. Every time you see the doll, that's all you hear. Yes. The Thornberries. That's literally how it sounds.
Screaming and he's stabbing. He's moving so fast. And she's like, "Oh God, no. She finally is able to push the elevator, and she pushes the doll out, and she starts running. So the chase ensues. That hurt my throat.
It was literally like, this motherfucker is dogging her ass. Like, he's tiny, but he's quick, and he has the scalpel. So he's slicing her legs up. It's so, you almost feel bad for her, because it's like, damn, what do you do? He's fast. He's fat. Like, it just, oh, it pisses me off so much.
So,
because even when she tries to be smart, she can only be so smart because he literally just has an advantage. He's tiny and fast.
He's small but nimble. So she gets back to her office. Of course, she can't find her keys, and So basically, she has locked him out. She locked him out of the office, and we see like his little knife scraping underneath the door. And while she's looking for her keys, bitch, the Zuni doll turns himself into a motherfucking baseball and just crashes through the window. And he jumps up and he's like, hey, yeah, 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 yeah.
He's cutting her neck up, her face up, her hair, like titties. It's just it's not funny because it's really horrific. And
so she grabs an axe. She doesn't grab the necklace.
No, but she grabs an axe and she starts swinging it at him. And I'm like,
So she ends up hiding into the closet, and this is the funniest part. You see the doll put the knife in its mouth and use its two hands and little feet prying open the door. So he's pulling the door while she's pulling the door, and so obviously he's got to be strong as fuck.
Mm-hmm. I hate you so much for this.
This is a two-person podcast. I need to participate.
I hate you so because this is bullshit. So at she gets out and she decides to think smarter, not harder. So she sees a case. There's like this it's like, I don't know what material. I'm gonna say it's plastic. She sees this plastic case, and so what she does is she bends down, opens the case. What does he come do? He comes charging, and she traps him in the case. And we think the day is won. She locks the case, she puts it on the desk, and she goes and tries to get her keys. Because they're like in between a desk and like something else. It don't take, okay, so, hold on. So even though he's trapped in the box, he still has his knife. And so he's poking through it. This is
the dumbest part of the entire movie.
So before she goes to get the keys, y'all, she actually tries to grab the knife as he's sticking it through with her fingers. And of course, because she's a dumbass, every time she tries to grab it, he just retracts it and stabs her. So she's getting her fingers. I'm surprised her fingers don't like come off because he's stabbing her repeated. Like she tries this like maybe 4 or 5 times. And I'm like, girl, what's the sign of insanity? You're not going to get a different result here. You are not going to just, she's trying to grab it like with her index finger and her thumb. Like, you're not about to grab this knife from him. Go get your fucking keys and leave. So she finally decides to be smart and try to go get her keys. But baby, he decides to be smarter. So he starts cutting like fucking Looney Tunes shit, bruh.
You know, at that point, why didn't she flip the case and give herself, I don't know, 2 more minutes? Or why didn't she put like a book on top of it?
No, because she had a metal container that she had hit him with. Why didn't she put the metal over him? He wouldn't have been able to cut through that. It's just
that too.
But she's a doctor. And she's trying to get the keys. She instant for him. Baby, when I tell you this motherfucker cut that hole in that so quickly, before she can, like, she barely touches them before he's out of the box.
Out of the box.
And so, man. So she goes over. So he does. You know what? You know what else he is?
Tasmanian devil.
No, I hate you. No, that's blah, blah, blah. No, he's Ace Ventura when nature calls. The little monster that Tommy Davidson when he was fighting him.
Chicago.
And so she goes over there and she just looks at him. And so what does he do? He's like, oh bitch, I'm ready for war. So he jumps on her and bites her fucking neck. Mind you, look at his teeth. Well, I guess the people listening on Apple and Spotify can't see. Look at his teeth and Tiffany's background. Look how fucking sharp they are. I thought she was a goner because all he had to do was bite and pull.
But he doesn't pull. He holds.
He would have ripped
bites,
her fucking.
locks.
Yeah, because I mean, he could have killed her right then. But he's just on her, just biting her, and she's just like, for
the love of God,
yeah, do me right. And so, she decides to be smart, and she has a vat of sulfuric acid. And so she finally just
with a lid. And so she finally decides to be a bad bitch. She pulls him off, throws him in the acid, closes it. And he just burns up, breaks apart. Well, he don't really break apart. He just kind of burns up. And she's just like, I won the day. So she goes and gathers her things. But not her keys to head out the door.
No.
She gathers some fucking gloves and tongs to pull the creature out of the sulfuric
Why?
acid. It's only been in
Why?
there for like 28 seconds.
Like, why? Get your
Because she
keys
wants
and-
it. She likes getting cut up.
So she goes, she opens the thing up, she grabs the tongs, and she screams. Cut scene. Her boyfriend's back. He's finally back.
How does he get in? And a big ass museum is gonna have so many exits. It's gonna at least be 4.
He comes in through one of the emergency exits. And
Okay.
so he comes in and he walks through, and then before he goes to the door that will lead to her office, she like jumps through with an axe. She like kills him with an axe. And she
jumps through and she's like, hiya! Yeah! And she now has the pointy teeth, the axe, and she kills him. So she is now possessed by the Zuni doll, I guess because it bit her. But my thing is, when she screamed, did it jump out?
When she screamed, I want to assume that the spirit went inside of her, like the spirit of the doll went inside.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because like the doll is no longer able to function. So, but the spirit, because remember, spirit and doll become one. The doll ain't no more, so the spirit could jump. Which again, I wouldn't have opened it ever. So.
No, it would have died there. It would have been a part. It would have been a part of the fucking museum in that damn sulfuric acid.
just chain up the acid so nobody can open it. And it just. I'm sorry.
It wouldn't have came out unless somebody was able to put the necklace back on it. But come on, that wasn't gonna happen. So that was the end of He Who Kills. I'm just going up in points. So I'm gonna give that one a 7. That actually scared the shit out of me when I was younger. So this came out in 96. I was 13. It scared the hell out of me. I was so scared. And it came on TV. And I watched it by myself. It was so scary.
I'll give it a 6.
Okay, you enjoyed the Zuni dog. Yeah!
It was just a very real situation. The threat was real. I can understand why. I mean, she made stupid decisions, but I can understand why it was difficult to survive the doll.
Okay. So, I just took all 3 of my scores and basically added them up and divided them by 3. The entire movie for me gets a 6. I definitely enjoyed He Who Kills, and Mommy's mad at you, Bobby. Oh, I said it wrong. Bobby's mad at you, Mommy. The Graveyard Rats. So it was literally worst to best in order of the movie. Trilogy of Terror 2 is something.
No, it was painful. It was so painful. I need y'all to send suggestions because she'll keep making these decisions and making me watch these movies, and I cry at night. So yeah, the whole movie for me gets a 4. It was I give it a 4 is grace because it was made a long time ago. But the fact that y'all couldn't even do gunpowder with the guns when they were going off, come on now. You're like out of control.
That just did it for you, huh?
Out of control. And, they could remake it today and make it something. They could if they wanted to. Because I
they
think
could make a whole movie with the Zuni fetish doll. I'd watch it.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
They really need to coast on that actually, because Jesus.
Yes. So that'll do it for Trilogy of Terror 2.
She knows. She knows.
Okay, well, what would you like to do next week? Because you're not gonna like the next suggestion that I have. So what would
we
you
already like? We already have decided what we're doing.
All right, guys. So please be sure to come back next week when we review Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror. Yeah!
I just want to say, when we review Scream 3, I don't want to hear your bullshit. I don't want to hear no negativity. I don't want to hear this sucks. I want you to accept the fact that I blow this movie's whole. Okay? I just
Did somebody say blow? Hallelujah. For Scream 3, I'm not saying anything.
See?
I'll just rate it in the end.
I hate you.
2. All right, guys, that will do it for Trilogy of Terror. Please, like I said, be sure to come back next week when we do Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror. We have 2 more anthology movies before April anthologies are over. Please be sure to send in your suggestions to all of the apps and sites and emails that I listed at the beginning of this podcast, and we will see you next time.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye.
Where did you hide it, Dan?